So there are always ways to do that. So I'm going to kick it off today with a rock star speaker. I'm going to, even though he's a personal friend, I want to read his bio because this guy's a rock star. And I'm not going to steal his thunder, but what he's gone through in life would rival what anybody's gone through. And he turned it into a career. He has a multi-million-dollar speaking company. Hails from Northern California. He is now attempting to invade my hometown of San Diego. But you're welcome to stay as long as you want. So let me give him a proper introduction. His name is Raul Lopez Jr. And his topic today is the vibrational mind, powerful thoughts, energy, and frequency. He's a renowned author, speaker, and life coach dedicated to transforming lives through the power of storytelling and personal growth. As the founder of Tag Talks, Transparency, Acceptance, and Growth, Raul empowers individuals to overcome limiting beliefs, embrace their true potential, and make a lasting impact. Certified in behavioral psychology from Stanford and trained leaders like Tony Robbins, Og Mandino, Raul blends real-life experience with proven strategies to help others unlock success in life, business, and beyond. His best-selling book, Heal the Boy and the Man Will Appear, has inspired thousands to reclaim their power and rise above their past. Raul, come on.
Hey, yeah, thank you, my friend. Thank you. All right. How's everybody doing? Good, I hope. So I'm really excited about today's topic because what I'll usually do is I talk about speaking and how to speak and get on stages and a lot of fun stuff like that. But I've really switched in the last month, no, not month, in the last year or so, getting ready to really share what's on my heart. When I got into this industry, my calling was to share what I had learned, the good, the bad, and the ugly, with kids in juvenile hall. So I started doing that. And then I started sharing with them in prison and then in churches. And it just turned into this business of public speaking and teaching people how to share their story, write books, and the whole thing. What happened for me was it turned so much into a business, I got away from my passion. So what I've done in the last few months is say, I'm going to take a sabbatical. I hired and brought on a speaking coach, so I'm not even taking care of that anymore. And I'm sharing what God has done for me, within me. And some of it is pretty radical. And for many, many years, I haven't shared it because I've been told, well, somebody's going to think that's weird, or that's too this, that's too mystical, that's too this. But you know what? These are real things that I've experienced in my life. So I'm going to share them, okay? I want to tell you up front, some of the things I'm going to say are going to piss you off. Some of the things I say are going to make you laugh. Some of the things may make you cry, okay? I start out a lot of my talks with, my name is Raul Lopez Jr. and I'm your friend, and I am. But some of the things I'm going to say today, you're going to go, you ain't my friend, but that's okay. What I want you to pay attention to is where you're triggered, okay? Don't look at me when you're triggered. Think to yourself, why did that bother me? Okay, we're getting to the mind, the vibration, energy. Why did that bother me? I don't get it, okay? We're conditioned from birth. I woke up this morning, and I do have a full presentation. I think there's like 50 slides here. I'm probably not going to go through them besides my introduction. I got up this morning after I've meditated, and I started just writing notes, okay? So if any of you are able to take notes, I want you to write these things down, whether you do it on your phone, on your piece of paper, whatever it is. None of this is in order. This is what came to me this morning as I was meditating. I got up, and I started to study and do notes like I usually do, okay? So I'm just going to run through these. I won't have time to go through all of this today, but these are things for you to think about throughout your life, day, business, whatever you're doing, okay? First thing is, God will send people to you to help you. Pay attention. Sometimes we're triggered and people piss us off because they're telling us things we need to know. Pay attention. There's good, there's bad, and there's ugly in all of this, okay? The human experience. We are here for a second. And we are here, what I've learned, is we are here to experience emotion. We are here to experience emotion. Emotion, energy in motion. Okay? Everything is an energy. We'll get into that. Frequency. Where you're living, how you're living, your relationships, your life, your kids, your money, your job, your entrepreneurship, whatever it is you do, you're in a paradigm/frequency. And if you don't like where you're at, you can change it just like that. Boom. I've decided I want to be a different person. Okay, I'll get into that. Like your cell phone. Have you ever been in a spot where your cell phone doesn't work and you can't hear clearly and it's all choppy? Yes. What do? You walk around and you look for a space where it's clear. Can you hear me now? Walk around. Oh yeah, I got it. Everything's clear. Good. Great. Everything's good now. How you doing? You can do that with your life. It's a frequency. There's frequencies running through here right now. Every one of you have a cell phone, an iPad, something. There's a frequency running into your pocket right now. Your entire body is frequency. You can shift to a new channel. When you're watching, I don't know, I don't watch TV. I don't even have a TV. But if you're watching TV or listening to the radio, there's 1,000 other channels, movies on, and songs on. You don't even know what they are, right? Until you start changing the channel. Then you might find something you like and go, oh, I like this. Same thing with your life. Switch the frequency that you're in. All right, what else I got here? You search for the right location. I just went through that. Do you work on yourself? Do you work on yourself? Are you worried about what everybody else is doing and how to go and help them? There's nothing wrong with helping people. How many people here like to help people? Good. All right. We should. We should all want to help people. I think that's the core. But do you work on yourself? It's just as important. Happiness is a frequency. Money is a frequency. Love is a frequency. You are in a frequency. Anybody here have challenges in their life? Everybody? Some people aren't raising your hand. Anybody here have the perfect life?
Yes.
Okay, get up. We're going to beat you up right now. Everybody has a challenge in their life. We've all had, right? What I've learned is if you are thinking about something that has happened, the only way it can bother you is because it's in your head. 10 minutes ago, it's gone. If you spilled coffee on you, it's gone. If you think about it tomorrow, it's still going to bother you. The battle is in your head. Unless it's physical, the battle is in your head. You're creating it. There are things that bother me from many years ago. I'll talk about that in a minute. Many years ago. But the only reason they bother me is because I think about it. It's in my head. The battle is in you. It's not external. Nobody did nothing to you this second that should bother you. It was in the past. All right. These are just cool notes I got this morning. Wow, some of this stuff is shocking myself. Good choose. Vibration match to what you want. Choose, talking about frequency. Choose your channel. Be in the vibrational match to what you want. Like I was talking about channels earlier. Choose it, right? You flip around the TV until you find something you like. What's the life that you want? Think about it. Write it down. You've heard that. Choose the life that you want. Choose the frequency. Figure out how to get into the frequency. I can help you with that. If you don't, how many people, you guys have heard this? If you don't think you can do it, you won't. If you don't think you can do it, you won't. Right? That's the paradigm you're in. That's the frequency you're on. If you don't think you can do it, you have to shift that. Get out of the paradigm. I'll quote Bob Proctor. Everybody know Bob Proctor? Incredible man. He says, the worst thing about a paradigm is that you don't know you're in one. If you've been living the same life your entire life, or the last 10 years, something shifted, and in the last 10 years, you've been just in this ruckus of whatever. It's a paradigm. I look at paradigms as circles, and then what I do is as a circle, I find an opening, and then you go out. What happens if you're going around in a circle and there's an opening? You come out of it. Pay attention to that. Switch your frequency. There are tools for that. All right. Okay, this is going to get deeper. Let me put that one last. Do you understand love? Just ask yourself that. Do I understand love? And I'm not talking about your wife, your boyfriend, your husband, your whatever you have, your kids. That's a different type of love. Love is an energy. Love is the frequency. And I'll get into it deeper, but the love frequency is where all things are. All right? Do you self-sabotage? Does anybody here ever self-sabotage themselves? Man, I do it all the time. The good thing is I'm self-aware, So when it happens, you can catch it. Some people don't catch it and they get stuck in it, right? Over and over and over again. And if you stay in that frequency, it'll be very hard to come out of that until you recognize self-awareness. It takes 21 days to get into, to be comfortable with the new life, with the new habit. It takes 90 days of continued work to actually shift. So you have to start. You have to start. I think I already mentioned be the observer of your mind.
Can you say that it takes 21 days to do what now?
It takes 21 days to be comfortable with the new habit. Like if you start something new that you know you need to shift, I'm working through this right now myself. If you start something new, it'll irritate you, it'll bother you, you'll say, screw this, I don't want to do it, no, you're wrong, you'll get mad. Everything that's going to self-sabotage you and pull you back over those 20 days, it's going to be really hard. If you can get through and continue to do whatever you're trying to do for 21 days, all of a sudden it's like a breath. Whew, this is not so bad. And then you continue to do the work for 90 days, and that's who you become. Be the observer of your mind. I mentioned that. What frequency are you in? Pay attention. What frequency you're in. What do you think about, right? If I said, hey, I'm going to hand you $1 million right now, does your mind go, yeah, right? Does it go, this part, we don't even realize. There's something here. For me, it's here. It's different places for everybody. For me, it's here. You're not worthy. Why would that happen? I had a dream once. I wasn't going to share this, but just real quick. I had a dream once, and I was sitting on a dock by the ocean, and this huge tanker ship came up. Just huge ship, the big giant ones that have all the containers and stuff on them. And it was all, instead of containers, it was all pallets of money, just stacked. This whole ship, stacked money. And I remember when it pulled up, someone was there and said, hey, that's yours. And I was like, nah, that's not mine. That's yours. And I remember this feeling of not believing it was mine. Why would that be? Because I don't believe that I earn it. I don't believe that I'm worthy of it. There's a reason that I felt that. Dreams are very important too. Remember that. So what is the feeling, frequency, vibration that you have when you're triggered? Good or bad? Pay attention to it all. I haven't even started to trigger yet. All right. In spirit, I'm here to inspire you today. In spirit, that's what we're going to do. I'm gonna share. I'll share that later. I think we're still not ready for that. All right. So those are just notes that I took this morning. I'm Raul Lopez Jr. I've written 8 books. My core, like Jim had mentioned, is Heal the Boy and the Man Will Appear. I've been speaking since about 1997. That'll give you a little bit about my age. And I've been helping people all over the world. How many people here know who I am? Oh my God, that's way more than I thought. Thanks. Usually nobody raises their hand, and then I say, that just shows you nobody has to know who you are to help a lot of people. Thousands of people you can help, and nobody needs to know who you are. The people who you are helping are the ones that know who you are. All right, so yeah, I speak all over the place. I do my own events. I speak at other events. Jim has been so gracious to bring me on today. I put on events pretty much everywhere. This was Killer Thing in Vegas. This was actually one of my very first events that I did. This was some corporate training that I did. I speak all over the place. I help people understand. I'm stepping away from it, but what I help people do is use their personal story to attract. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're in the people business, which I believe in, I didn't even ask, how many people here are entrepreneurs? Majority? Whatever business you're in, whatever job you have, when you're helping people, when you share a little bit about you, your personal story, it helps. That's what I kind of teach, but I'm not going to get into that. Youth has always been my passion. I mentioned to somebody earlier that when I first started speaking, it was to youth in juvenile hall. That was my calling. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. I've always loved to speak to youth. Here are my 2 core books, Heal the Boy and the Man Will Appear. And I was going to give some out, and they're in my car. Maybe I'll grab them later. This is the first book I ever wrote, and I actually wrote this book for kids in juvenile hall. It's like this thick, very easy to read purposely so that these kids would read it. And then this is the latest version of it. The difference is learn the importance of understanding and expressing your emotions, energy and motion. Subtitle, Transforming Childhood Trauma with God and Psychology. This is probably, I don't know, a 10-year span. And we continue to learn, right? So I just packed this one with a lot more stuff that I had learned over the years. This is a book series that I have. I like to learn with and from the best. So I just took some notes and stuff. I went through a couple of Tony Robbins programs, his top 10 techniques. Gary Vaynerchuk, the same thing. This book program, or whatever you want to call it, the sequence will keep coming out. I haven't done one in a while. Tag Talks book series. This is something that I was doing with my Tag Talks program. I just put people's stories in here. They come and speak at the events, and then we put them. We transcribe their talks and we put them in there. So when they're done, they're authors, speakers, and coaches. My speaker's blueprint. All of this stuff is on Amazon. All available there. This is just some of the people that we promote, and we do our different events and have fun. Hey, that picture's messed up. That's okay. One of the things that this industry does for you as an entrepreneur is it gives you the ability to go work and do whatever you want, wherever you want. So we fly around. Where's that? I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. This is in Newport Beach. We rent yachts and we have like masterminds and have fun out there cruising. And in between, I show you these, in between all of this, I'm on my computer doing masterminds and webinars and everything else. I've been blessed to have been able to get in front of and work with incredible people. Anybody know Tom Bilyeu is? Yeah. Tim Story, Coach Burt, coming up in the last few years really well. When I first started sharing my story, talk about an energy, a frequency. I didn't even know what I was doing, right? But I started sharing my personal story with people, and it caught on. People saw it. People wanted to hear it. People wanted to understand it, and it attracts these things. I help people get into these TV shows and all these types of things. This is a fun thing at the Wynn. We did an event over at SoFi Stadium. Get to meet a lot of fun people in this industry, speaking on different stages with them. This was really fun. We got to go backstage at the Shark Tank and watch them and all that, sat in their chairs and everything. It was pretty fun, man. It was really cool. What else? Okay, this is the start of my presentation, and I don't even know that I'm going to go through it because I got a lot of stuff. But I'm not here to entertain you. All the stuff I just showed you is a lot of entertainment. I'm here to really challenge you and help you grow. I am here to change you. Transformation isn't comfortable, like I said. All right? Stay in your frequency because it satisfies. You stay in your frequency because it satisfies your insecurities. You stay in your frequency because it satisfies your insecurities. How many people have been in a bad relationship over and over again? I'll raise my other hand too. So that's I think the greatest example of it is we're satisfied, we're comfortable being uncomfortable, all those terms. We're satisfied with this. And as soon as somebody comes around us, honestly, that is better for us, if we're in the frequency of the chaos, we will not even recognize that person as someone we're attracted to. When you shift your frequency, that person is going to appear all of a sudden. You're going to be like, I walk down the street every day. Do you? Yeah, I walk down the street every day too. How come we've never seen each other? I don't know. Because your frequency just shifted. And now you're running into this person. This has literally happened to me in my life. You can't create new results with your old energy. All right. Frequency in the air. Okay. I want to get a little bit away from this. I didn't want to just do a regular, let me get on this side. I didn't want to just do a regular presentation. I really wanted to get into some of the things that I've experienced. So I'm going to bullet point my personal story and let you know how I got into this industry. I didn't plan it. I didn't plan to be an author, speaker, or a coach. I didn't plan any of the stuff that I've been doing for the last 10, 15, 20 years. In short, Heal the Boy and the Man Will Appear is my personal story. Loving family. From the age 0 to 7, my mother and father were actually teenage sweethearts. My dad went to Vietnam, and then my mother got married and had 2 kids. My dad came back from Vietnam, had 1 kid. They got back together, and they had me. So there was 4 of us, but between my parents, I'm an only child. Grew up in San Jose, California, and back in my day, I don't know if anybody knows the Bay Area, it was fields, literally. It was all fields. You won't find a piece of grass this big nowadays. It was fields, cherries, walnuts. I mean, it was just an incredible place to grow up. We lived on farms there. Incredible loving life, age 0 to 7. 7 years old, my mother comes to the house and she says, son, get in the car. We're going to go for a ride. And I said, okay. Didn't think anything of it. In San Jose, all of our family lived within like a 2 to 5 mile radius, very close to us, both sides of the family. Got in the car. She put me on a plane. She flew me to Alaska. I had fun on the plane. I got to Alaska. It was fun. She showed me all this cool stuff we had there. Next morning, I woke up and I said, "Where's Mom? Where's my daddy?" And she looked at me and she said, "Don't worry about your daddy. You're not going to see him again." Whew, see? When we remember, it's a frequency. We carry it. But we don't let it affect our life. We use it for good. It broke me as a 7-year-old. This is why it's so important to understand our emotions, energy, and motion. I didn't know what I felt. I didn't know the sadness. I didn't know the confusion. I didn't know the depression. I didn't know the anxiety. I didn't know what I felt. I was a little boy with all of this energy going through, and I didn't know what it was. So I just held it in. What happens when you hold in any type of energy, compress it? Boom! At some point, it's going to explode. I became very angry, very lost, fought a lot as a kid. The first time I shifted, I would go to school every day in Alaska, and I would cry every day, overwhelming. I could not help it. I would cry. Sometimes my mom would keep me home. Sometimes she'd say, "You got to go to school." And I would walk through this chain link fence, this little opening going onto the playground. And it was in Alaska, so it was snow, and I would wear, the beanie, the full beanie, and then just little eyes and your mouth shows. But I'd be crying all the time, so I liked to wear it. It was like hiding. But kids started to make fun of me. Kids are not nice, right? They bully kids and laugh and point fingers and that whole thing. So kids made fun of me a lot because I was crying all the time. And one day I walked through that chain link fence, and instantly I could see it right now. The whole playground, the jungle gym, whatever you want to call it, was right there. I walked through this gate, and instantly they're looking at me, starting to point. And I remember internally, I just went, I'm never going to cry again. And no one's ever going to laugh at me again. And from that day, for many, many, many years, if I thought you were about to laugh at me, I would attack you before you had a chance. And I caused myself a lot of problems, and I would not cry. I started doing drugs when I was 9 years old. I conceived my first child. My girlfriend and I conceived our first child when I was 13. At 14, I got incarcerated for the first time. I was made a ward of the court at the age of 15. I was a registered alcoholic at the age of 16. All the meantime, in and out of different facilities, ending up in San Quentin prison. Got out of San Quentin prison at the age of 24 and looked back and was like, I've just spent the last 10 years of my life lost and in a fog, literally in a fog. So I decided to make a change based on a few experiences that I saw happen and had to be involved in while I was incarcerated. Now I want to say this. Being incarcerated is a horrible thing and nobody should be there. But because of the life I started to live at such a young age and being so lost in the streets and in gangs, I belonged there. So I never want anybody to go, "Oh, poor you were in prison." Today, the way I look, the way I am, the way I speak, I was a whole different person back then. Talk about frequency and energy and a different whole dimension, paradigm. I was a completely different person. I was lost. While I was in prison, there was a couple of things that happened near me. One of them is I'm standing on the San Quentin prison yard. If anybody's seen movies of San Quentin, that's San Quentin. And there's a guy standing next to me on the yard, and we're just talking. And somebody comes up, he's this close, and somebody walks up behind him and slits his throat. Oh, wow. And I look at him, he's my friend, and I have to walk away. That's the rule. I can't, "Oh, are you okay? What happened?" I can't defend him, nothing. Something like that happens, you walk away like you never saw it. Doesn't matter who it is. That's the unwritten rule. So you just hold that in, continuing to hold in things, right? I just had to walk away. Another shift while I was there. Do I want to share the story? So it's in the book. Some of this stuff is deep. I saw a young boy, 18. I saw a young man forced to do something with another man that he didn't want to do. I'll put it that way. And it was full intimidation and control, because when you're involved in those prison gangs, you do what they say. You have to do what they say. And if you don't know how to have a poker face and look like nothing bothers me, I don't care, which is the person I'd become over those years, then you will be forced. And in short, what happened was there was 4 of us standing there. The leader of the gang that I was part of many years ago walked up with this girl, which was a guy, right? There's no women in San Quentin. And he said, hey, she's mine now. Who wants her next? And I knew how. I'd been incarcerated for so long. I knew the poker face. And he looked at me, and I laughed, and I passed energetically, without even realizing, I didn't know this stuff back then. Energetically, I went like this, and I passed to the next guy. I go, I'm good. How about you? And he was an older guy, had been around too. He's like, nah, not me. And he passed again. So it just popped, boom, boom, boom. The last guy was an 18-year-old kid who had just come out of YA, a youth facility, and he looked like this. No, I'm cool. And he tried to play it off. And the guy looked at him and said, you get her next. And again, I walked away because it's none of my business. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't help him. I couldn't defend him, whatever it was. So those are just two little things. People die in prison every day. I lived this life, and at some point, I had a secret. And I had a little green Bible about this big, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And I read it every single day. And at some point, God said, there's more to life than what you're living. A lot of people don't make it out of prison. A lot of people go back and forth all the time. There's more to life than what you're living. Last thing about prison. I was sitting at a table. 3 other guys were playing dominoes on the yard. 20 of our friends sitting right here. And something happened. There was some fight going on between our group and some other group, one-on-one. And the guy came over and he said, hey, we have to get down. That was the term he said. That meant we all have to get up and we all have to go fight whoever he got into a fight with. And I was sitting at the table like this. And in the fraction of a second I stood up and looked over, I had a vision. This was one of the first visions that I recognized and was able to remember. And when I really got into understanding and meditating, I saw all the things that God had shown me in my life that I just ignored and didn't know what it was. But in that fraction of a second, as I got up and looked, everybody that was here, because everybody's kind of sitting on the ground or whatever, everybody was getting up. And about, 10, 15 feet away, there was this old man there. Balding, really skinny, just probably had a really, really tough life. And as skinny and little as he was, brittle as he was like this. Let's go get him. And again, this is all in a fraction of a second. When I looked, I saw him. And I had this vision. And God showed me him sitting in a lazy boy chair with grandkids all around him. And God said, he shouldn't be here. That's where he should be. And then in the same fraction of a second, he put me in that chair. And he said, that's where you're going to be. There's more to life than what you're living. I don't know where you're at or what you're doing right now, but you can shift it. Somebody's talking to you. I'm talking to you right now. You can change your life. I don't know if you meditate. I don't know if you pray. I don't know what you do, but listen. Clear your mind and listen. I got out and I decided I was going to change my life. I moved out of San Jose. I was forced to go to college. It was a unique situation, but it was to change my entire life. I was forced to go to college. I found God, started to learn to meditate, understanding these frequencies and these energies, and I had an experience that completely changed my life. I'm meditating, and I leave my body. Let me say this real quick. Over the years, I tried to get better while I was working on myself, psychologist, therapist, anything that I can do to improve myself. And I was always this big block, this big wall. It was a brick wall. It was almost physical, just in my mind. I could see it. And I worked with Robbins Madonna's coaching program with Tony Robbins. And he has Chloe Madonis. Anybody know who Chloe Madonis is? She's like a world-renowned psychotherapist. And I got to work with her. I got some sessions with her because I was part of this Tony Robbins program. And I told her that I have this wall and I don't know how to get rid of it. And she said, what's on the other side of the wall? And I said, I don't know. And I went like this, right? Like literally I'm going like this, like what is it? Because I could see this wall. And I said, freedom. And she goes, freedom? What do you mean freedom? I said, I don't know. You asked me to the other side of it. I look over there and I see freedom. I see fields, see a beautiful couple of trees, purple, blue skies. And it's freedom. She said, can you put a ladder on the wall and climb over it? And I said, no. The ladder's there, but I can't get over it. She said, picture a door in the wall. She says, can you picture the door? I said, yeah, but it's locked, right? Whatever excuse it was. So as I started to learn to fully meditate, quiet my mind, and soak in prayer, call that meditation. I had this vision, left my body, and I'm standing in this field, and the wall is gone. This field is it's miles, hundreds of miles long. The sky is beautiful. There's trees, green leaves, these little oak trees out there, and I'm standing. Oh my God, I'm here. The wall is gone, and I can't move. I'm trying to go into the field, and I can't move. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I look over, and there's a little boy there, 7 years old, me. Like I'm standing here now, looking at you. I'm standing in this field, and there's a 7-year-old boy right here. And I got mad, and I looked at him. And I said, you're my wall? You've been holding me here all of these years, you? And he just was very calm and peaceful, and he looked at me. And he said, I'm not holding you here. You're holding me here. And I understood. Just this wave of energy, of understanding came. That day, 7 years old on that playground, when I said, no one's ever going to laugh at me again, and I'm never going to cry, I created an alter ego. And I stood in front of that boy. And I said, nobody's going to hurt him. Nobody's going to laugh at him. And I fought, and I fought, and I fought, literally, for many years. And it just took me down this path of wild and crazy life. Alcohol, drugs, gangs, robbing, stealing, everything that I was doing. And when I understood that, and I saw him there, I understood he was the one who needed to be free. So I knelt down and I just hugged him. And I started to say, I love you. I'm sorry. You are light, you are love. Just this energy of love came through me, and I wasn't even speaking the words, you are light, you are love, you are joy. I'm sorry. I kept apologizing to him. And I went from just apologizing to him to calling him son. What I didn't tell you is, I did tell you my mother had taken me from my father. When we came back to California, I did get to see him once in a while. I learned the reason she left him. He's a drug addict, alcoholic. He was doing a lot of really wild and crazy stuff. So I didn't see him that much. But when I did, it wasn't good. He was usually doing something he shouldn't have been doing with the little kid around. He had passed away very young. He passed away when he was 47 years old, based on his lifestyle. So at this time, he was gone. And I'm kneeling, and I'm hugging myself. I love you. You are light. You are joy. I'm sorry. I love you. You are light. You are joy. I'm sorry. And I started to call this little boy son. And I was thinking, this is not my son. This is me. But then there was a shift. And now my father was holding me while I hold myself. And he was saying, I'm sorry, son. I love you, son. You're the light. You're the joy. And then we stood up, and there's 3 of us standing there. And all of this is an energy. God speaking, frequency, love, the energy of love. And he's saying, you are the light, you are the joy. You are happiness. My father disappeared, and the little boy was in my hand. Just somehow he was in my hand. And I looked at him, and I was prompting him to put him into my heart. And I went, and my heart softened. And it was at that point that I didn't even know my heart had hardened. It had hardened that day on the playground. And I created that alter ego. Nothing's going to penetrate. So I stood there. And then the little boy appeared in front of me. Heal the boy, and the man will appear. The little boy appeared in front of me, and he started to walk into the field. And he started walking. I said, go, you're free. It's you, who I've been holding. And he started walking to the field. And he stops, and he turns around, and he looks at me. I could see he's hesitating. I could see it. I go, no, no, no. And I thought, oh, he's not hesitating. It's still me. That's me. I'm holding this boy here. And I said, go, you're free. And he walked into the field, and a whole new man appeared. And at that point, God said, I want you to take everything you've experienced, from the happy, loving, young life, to incarceration, to college, to God, to everything that you've learned. Now look at these lives. You've lived 10 lives already at this point. Different frequencies, different energies, different vibrations for all of those years. Take what you've learned and share it. And that's why I ended up in juvenile hall. He said, go teach these kids what you didn't know, so they didn't end up like you did. Have you ever heard life happens for you, not to you? Life happened for me. To help others, to help kids. I took that, I started helping the kids. I wrote the book for the kids. Went into prisons when I was able to. After so many years of being out of prison, I was able to go back into prisons. I started in churches, and then people just started coming to me. And that's how this business came about. But like I had mentioned, God will bless you for being in your calling. But pay attention. I had to pay attention. I stepped so far out of my calling into the business side of things that I was no longer fulfilled. It's okay to be fulfilled. You know that, right? It's okay to be fulfilled. It's okay to make a lot of money. I always tell people, people will pay you for your past to improve their future. Right? The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Can you repeat that one?
People will pay you for your past to improve their future. In short, that's coaching. It's okay to help, love, serve people, and get paid very well for it. If you get into the business side of things, and I'm trying to stay away from it, but there's truth to people who pay attention, right? These days, I just coach a couple of people at a time because I really get involved with them. And earlier I had said, I'm Raul Lopez Jr. and I'm your friend. But at this point, when you get into coaching, I'm not your friend. I'm there to change your life. And I only work with people who want to change their life. There's a lot of people who say, yeah, I want to change. Yeah, I want to change. Yes, yes, yes. But then as soon as they're into that 21 days, they can't do it. Or they think they can't do it because they're stuck in the frequency that they've been in for so long. My calling is to grab you and drag you out of that frequency. Right? Everything I teach, everybody that I work with is from my own personal experience. I didn't read a book and go, hey, you should try this and you should try that. You want to talk about pain? I've lived pain. I want to talk heartbreak, abandonment, broke, everything, divorce. The hardest things in life I've experienced. Nothing to me, for me. To serve, to love, to share. Let me get a little bit deeper as I start to close here. I showed you about a couple of those visions that I've had. And a lot of those are things that I don't share because they get a little bit deep. Okay? But if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. As I learn to meditate and start to have out-of-body experiences and traveling literally through the universe and different planets and hearing from God, universe, I take notes and I write everything down and I pay attention to what it is. And what I've realized is that we are all one. I think you've all heard that. But we are one energy here experiencing emotions. There's nothing else here for us to experience emotions. When we're in consciousness, which is who we are, we know all things. All things. We are just all things. So we come here to be outside of that, to experience. And anything that you're feeling, doing, acting, reacting, it's based on an emotion. Emotion is the energy that we are. If you understand that, it's also the frequency at any second that you're in. Shift it. What do you want? What do you want?
The experience that I imagine I'm going to have when I have anything that I desire.
You want the experience,
The feeling.
the feeling, the energy of it, the feeling.
The feeling of flow. The feeling of centeredness, of balance, of harmony. Love.
Consciousness. That's where we came from. That's good. There's nothing wrong. I'm just saying. What do you want?
Consciousness.
You want consciousness. What do you want here in this life? Why are you here?
To do a lot of similar things to what you're doing. To help people find and live their passion. And find is an important thing because I don't think most of us know what that truly is. So together we can make this life more meaningful.
to make life more meaningful.
Yes.
To experience a more meaningful life.
And I guess that meaning like would actually be self-transcendence, consciousness.
Yeah.
And I didn't put that together until you said consciousness.
Yeah, I'm here to partner with you in your mission.
Good.
And I'm also here to make a positive impact in the world. And I want right now to be transformed and free from past programming.
Amen. That's what we're here to do. Talk to me later. I have plenty of programs. What you're asking for is only $50K. A lot of people here can't afford me. And that's okay. Because here's why. I don't mean that in a bad way. People can't afford me because they're not ready to change. Right? If you said, I'm ready, I'm going to do whatever it takes, and Raul, I know you can help me. I know you can help me. I can hear it. I can see it. I want you to help me. $50K. Well, I got to ask my wife. I got to ask my husband. Well, this, or maybe that only has to do with you. That's it. Wait a minute. Am I worth $50K? If I pay $50K, am I going to change? If you have to ask yourself if you're going to change, you're not ready. I don't even want to work with you. if you're not ready, that's the truth. You have to be at a certain stage where I go, come on, and you're fighting in those 21 days. And you're like, oh, this is so hard. Yes, it is. Man, I don't want to do this. It's okay. Come on, let's go. You have to be ready. Everything we're talking about is emotion. I got about 5 minutes. I'm going to wrap up. Okay. I saw this video the other day. I'm going to close with a couple short things. I'll try to take a couple questions too before this 5 minutes are up. I saw this video the other day, and it was a great explanation of life. Universe, we come here to experience. We're all one, right? What is this? What is this experience? And it's this video, and I think it's a monk, and somebody asked him, what is the meaning of life? Or what happens when we die? And it shows the ocean. I don't know if you guys have seen this. And it shows the ocean, and there's like a splash, and there's a drop that flies into the air, and then it comes back down, and it lands back in the ocean with all. We're that drop. We're that drop going up in the air, and it's a wild ride. Woo! Man, this human life is crazy. It's insane. All this fun, all this hate, all this sadness. And we're just, woo! Like a roller coaster, right? When you're going down, and then we come back down, and we start coming back down, and we're learning, and we're growing, we're getting used to it. Oh man, look at this. Instead of just being scared, if I just start to look around and pay attention to what's happening, this is kind of cool. And I think, I can't say because I don't know, I'm still here, but I think when we go, when it's our time to go, we figured these things out. And if we haven't, you'll be shown immediately. How much time? One more quick story. Everybody know who Steve Jobs is? Steve Jobs? You know he was an atheist? Steve Jobs? Atheist? Didn't believe in God. A lot of people say he was a jerk. I didn't know him personally. I don't know. I just know he was incredible at what he did. I mean, all our lives are changed. How many people have Apple products somehow, some way, right? He changed all of our lives. But what the story I know on his deathbed, it's all over the place if you look it up. He was an atheist. He was laying there about to die, and his family was around, and he opened his eyes, and he goes, wow, I was wrong. And then he died.
Wow.
Wow.
So there's beyond where we're here. There is a consciousness that you're part of. We're just here to experience. So whatever happened to you yesterday that's bothersome to you, it's not yesterday. It's today. Go forward. Shift. I got to get going. I want to show you guys how to shift your paradigms. I'm going to be here all day afterwards and the whole thing. I want to show you guys how to shift your paradigms. I want to show you about the frequencies. I want to show you in depth. I shared some stories with you today. I appreciate you listening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Come on, water. What the?